we are using a Semogue, and this is the Shave Nook 2018. There are 180 of these made, limited edition, and this is the premium boar bristle. Get that back in the water. It's had a nice chance to soak while I was in the shower, so it'll be well hydrated. We have completed 3 shaves with the Kai blade. The next blade in the voting that was the most requested recently is the Voshkod. So let's use this guy. And he is younger than I usually use. Looks like about 7 uses on this blade. It should be pretty fresh. And on one side you've got some, is that Cyrillic from Russia maybe? And then the other side we've got some English. And so that's the blade for today. The razor we're going to put it in is a new one to me. This is a Rocnel. If I'm pronouncing that right, I don't know whether it's Rocnel or Rocnel, but this is it. Kind of resembles the ATT razor. I believe it's mainly made by Bacchus Shaving. Got some pretty good weight to it. I do like the shape, the look of the handle here. We'll do more of a detailed look at it at the end of the shave, but it 3-piece design, stainless steel, kind of a standard looking base plate there. Not a lot of support for the bottom of the blade, toward the edge of the blade. It's pretty narrow right here, so that may mean it's got some audio. It may mean it's not as consistent as a Carve or a Game Changer, or some razors like that. So we'll just see. They did do some printing on it. 2019 is up there at the top. And then what does that say? S50. And then they printed on the base plate as well. It says 195 millimeter right there. And then for professional users. We'll see. Oh, and then they print some Rocnel info right there. Oh, made in Turkey. Okay. All right. So fit and finish seems pretty good on this, but it's quite an expensive razor if you pay retail, and I did not. Got what I think is a good deal on it. Put the Voshkod on there. Don't really know if it's quite worth the retail price based on just the fit and finish. A lot of the aggressive level razors, I see them getting sold on the used market. But this is the mild, and I don't see that one as often. So I thought I would jump on this one. I believe I'll be able to pass it on at the same price that I bought it, if it doesn't quite suit me. Now the soap we're going to use today is another question mark. It's been a long time since I've used a Van Yulay soap. Now they go quite far by claiming it's the soap of the gods. I think that's not a very accurate claim based on my past experience with this brand, but let's give it a shot. Now they like to, even in their full tubs, they pipe the product in with a cake decorating type nozzle. So this is what it's going to look like even if you buy a full tub, but this is a sample. And so it comes in almost like a to-go ketchup container is how they ship that. And I don't really have a problem with that. Gives them space to put a nice little label so you know what kind of soap it is and all that. I have discovered one of the problems historically was that it took quite a bit of product to get a good lather. And so I am going to take my usual 1/4 teaspoon out. I'm going to spread it in the bottom of the bowl, and then I'm going to take another 1/4 teaspoon out. All right, so that's a full 1/2 teaspoon we're using here. This is twice as much as most other soaps need to give me plenty of lather. So we'll see how much lather I get from this. If I get a lot, then we'll know something. This is the Roger Quintero lather bowl, 3D printable bowl. The designs are in the description of the video if you want to link to those and download them yourself to print it yourself. There are some online services as well that can print if you don't have a 3D printer. So that's what as you can see, it's not really carefully smushed into the bottom like you need to do with firmer soaps. That's because this is a very soft soap. It's really more of a cream. That may be why you have to use more of it, but that also means it's not as economical in terms of price. One thing, I chose this one out of several samples that I had, Bacchus, because it had a nice strong scent to it. I think leather is in this scent. I can't remember exactly. So let's start mixing it up. Shake most of the water out of the board brush. Now I've heard that the lady that does this soap lost my train of thought there. I've heard that she has a lot of different soap bases, and so it is a question mark in terms of if you find a particular soap base that you like. It doesn't mean that that's going to be available in every soap that she has. Some people don't like the fact that there are so many soap bases. Now, I did order this sample a couple of years ago. And so number one, I think it's nice that it has stayed nice and strong in terms of the scent. Now, initially, I'm encouraged to see lots of early proto lather here, dry stuff, before we start adding water. Now, since it's basically a cream, that may mean we don't need to spend a lot of water to get a good lather. She has lots of scents, lots of fragrances to choose from. It was easy for me to pick, 8 or 10 that I was interested in. But because of the performance of the first couple and how I had to use so much product, I just kind of quit and didn't really test out most of the samples. But I haven't done one in recent memory, and I don't believe on video, and so I just wanted to work up a lather with it and just see, give it a fair shake. That's 1 teaspoon. Let's put another one in there. Because who knows, maybe my lather skills back then when I was trying Van Yulay samples, maybe they weren't all that great. So we need to give it a good fair chance here. Yeah, that nice scent coming up. It's holding together pretty well. I got a feeling this is one that I might need to run a little drier than usual. Let's just take a feel of it. Yeah, that's kind of a flimsy feel to it, not a lot of viscosity, that sort of thing. But there is a pretty slick underlying contact slickness that's there, and so I'm sure it's going to be a good shave experience. But let me go ahead and stop adding water here. So that's 2 teaspoons. I can add more water on my face if I need to. Okay, let me rinse my face. I did shower before the shave, as I mentioned, and I did wash my face, so we did get rid of a lot of the oils that are usually on my face at the start of the shave, so maybe that'll help the lather a little bit. This is a shave where I've got about 2 days of growth on. So the Rocnel is going to be tasked with taking down more hair than usual. This brush has got nice soft tips, even though it's a young one. What, maybe 15 or 16 uses. It does have a central core that you do feel as you're working it. It's fairly easy to splay a little bit, and I don't really feel the need to splay it more than that. Put a little bit more water in there. The handle is not super ergonomic for me, but it's got a big enough knob on the end to give me a good hold. And then these extra textures just kind of help the hold a little bit, but it's not like it's fitting your hand, you know. It's more like you're holding something that's ribbed. But this is an uncommon knot, you know, and so you kind of have to take what you get. A bit more water. Feels good on the face. Feels like I could have added more water in the bowl, that's for sure. I'm getting a nice scent from it. You know, it almost gives me the impression of like a little bit of leather and wine even. Pretty sure there's no wine notes mentioned on this one. I think maybe it's supposed to be like leather and smoke and wood or something. Well, judging by the intensity of this lather, so now I've got 3 teaspoons in it. Yeah, I probably didn't need to load that much, but it's not far off. It definitely requires more product by volume than most other soaps. And the soap does have a light feel to it. So when you're there with a tub in your hand, there's a tendency to think I maybe don't have, there's a perception, at least with me, I don't have as much product as I might normally with other soaps. All right, Rocnel. Give it a shot here. I do like the handle a lot. I like the girth. The width here, the knurling is okay. It almost has a fine grab to it, maybe a little too fine, almost like like it could be buffed down just a hair more and it would have been perfect. But I like the design. The heft is nice. The balance point is about right there, and that's a pretty good sweet spot for me, I think. So let's just see what he's going to do. And there's that audio that I kind of suspected would be there. Now, I usually just don't have a problem with about any decent mild razor with taking down 2 days of growth. You know, you might feel a little bit more of the tugging or something like that, but in that first pass may not quite take down as many hairs as it would if it were 1 day shave. But the second more than makes up for it. So yeah, it's kind of a thin, weak lather a little bit, but it does lay down a nice, you know, slickness to your skin. to help with the glide. So I am getting nice glide with the razor. So it's definitely not top tier, and there are going to be some mid-tier soaps that are going to beat the Van Yulay. But it's decent. So I guess it all depends on the price. All right, I'm going to rinse. All right, the rinse felt really nice, really slick. The water combined with the remnant of soap that's on my face gave a really good feel, and so that speaks well. I went ahead and added another teaspoon to the lather here. Let's look at the viscosity. It's still sticking it to itself pretty good. Yeah, so I definitely have not overwatered it, so that's good. 4 teaspoons of lather are in this soap right now. Might even be able to take a little bit more, but it's feeling pretty good on the face. Sorry for the noise. A little bit of scrapey feeling on that first pass. And I can tell it's geared to be a mild experience for those people who, you know, kind of like this amount of audio. So I'll decide whether or not to keep it. I'm getting a very nice experience now in terms of the feel. So it looks like the Voshkod seems to be a good match for this razor. All right, third pass. So I used quite a bit of product, you know, twice as much as I might use of sterling. I am ending up with some lather, but with sterling I also usually end up with an excess similar to this. But I am happy with the lather. It's definitely a pretty good soap. And so especially if you find a couple of scents that you like from them, you know, it's going to make you a happy camper, I think. I guess so it all depends on the price. You know, what are you paying for? For me, I would think that sterling is going to present a better value. And I'm confident that you're not going to get nearly as many uses out of a tub of Van Yulay as you are sterling. So from a value perspective, this needs to cost maybe half as much as sterling, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't. However, you're definitely going to find some scents in her collection with Van Yulay that you won't find with sterling. There were some claims online made for this vendor that with just, I think, 60 or 70 cents to choose from, the claim was made that maybe she was using some pre-blended oils, pre-blended scents, and not really developing them in-house. And she responded with, it seemed like, to me, an undue amount of anger, frustration, kind of lashing back out, making some jibes maybe that weren't really needed, weren't warranted. But She did say that she worked for many hours crafting the perfume oils and getting just the right mixes. Now, whether she does that for all her scents or for half her scents or a select group that she really is interested in, that's a question mark. But her claim is that she definitely works and spends a lot of time in the scent development department. Now, another thing about her line is that you can find a whole breadth of products. I think she sells other things other than just the soap and maybe the aftershave or whatever. I'm thinking it's like even bigger than Sterling. Sterling has bath soaps, the body lotion, cream, body butter, um, and other different other post shave options. And she goes even further with that, with other kind of shampoo maybe, but that kind of thing, with several other options to experience the scent. And so that could be something that you enjoy, but she's dealing with quite a big array of stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if with a lot of her scents, she wasn't able to dedicate a lot of crafting time to them because there are just so many of them. But I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm just saying they may not be quite as artisan in some cases. But I think for me, the biggest hang up is probably going to be the price. You're probably going to just not get quite as many uses out of a tub of her product as you will with a lot of other soaps. But strictly speaking about performance, I'm really happy with the soap. The slickness is tremendous. It's very nice. Good luxury feel in terms of rinsing the lather away. Because of that kind of secondary slickness on your skin, it just feels really good. The scent strength I'm really happy about. Now, because she has so many bases, soap bases, or cream bases I might call it, you don't really know, maybe unless you ask her, which scent is in which one. Maybe the website will tell you, but that might be a question. And so if I really like this base, I don't know how easy it is to make sure that I get that same base, but my guess is, this is a quality base, and so I'm guessing the other ones are going to be pretty good too. So, Bacchus. He's got cowboy boots and a hat and a mirror. That round thing behind the hat is a wall mirror, and wooden background. So that's kind of the theme that she's going with that one. Not a whole lot of scent right now in the air as I'm done shaving, so it doesn't look like it's going to carry over too much in terms of giving you some scent to last you. And so you're going to need some aftershave products. Now, I decided to try some Pantie Dropper aftershave milk from Mickey Lee Soapworks today. That I think Dracar Noir type scent. There we go. This is not too intense, and so I don't feel like I've oversprayed, or I don't feel like that, 80s middle schooler who walks by you with a cloud of Dracar Noir following behind them. So there we go. It's a good shave. So performance I'm happy with. I did have to use twice as much product to get the result I wanted, and so that's really the only issue. I do have 2, maybe 3 passes left over, but that's often what I have with Sterling as well, with just a 20 or 30 second load of Sterling. So I think that might be the only hang up, is just how much you're getting, how many shaves per tub you're going to be getting. I do feel like Sterling performs a little better. The feel and the viscosity is definitely better with Sterling. But in terms of it, she still has a very nice slickness, that's going to be hanging around on your face as you shave. The glide is going to be really good. So there we go. The razor I was happy with. Yeah, on that first pass, a little bit of audio, but not too much for me, I don't think. I want to keep it around, evaluate it, and see what I think about it. My first impression of the fit and finish is that it's good, but it's not as good as the retail price they're asking for this on Bull Goose. A lot of the corners and surfaces are not sharp at all, and so they have been finished down just a little bit. But when I mentioned the very fine, kind of abrasive quality of the handle, the knurling there. It's kind of a simplistic design of the head here, and that's good in their part for ease of manufacture. But if you look here at the gaps that they give you for the safety bar, those are just circles, and so you can tell that it was milled just with a drill bit coming in this way, and same for the other side, of course. But then as you feel the top here, it almost feels slightly unfinished. They definitely didn't buff that down. Now that's not and it's on the inside here, and that's not something that your skin feels while you're shaving. It's not something that I'd be able to feel too much of if I had the head assembled. And so in a sense, it's something that's on the inside of the razor and not on the outside. But that makes me think it should not have the price tag that it does. Now granted, there's not as much demand for the Rocnels probably as somebody like Wolfman or something like that. My timeless razors, for instance, have a better finish throughout the entire razor, and they, I believe, cost less than this guy. And so I'd give the vote then to the timeless. But we'll keep using them. In general, like they definitely finished the bottom here and all the outside parts that you would touch, and so that would give you a better feel. But that is that feels more like right here, inside right there feels more like a $100 razor or an $80 razor than, in terms of retail, almost triple that price. So I would definitely not pay retail for this one in that sense. I think it's an M5 thread that we're dealing with here, the metric M5 by 0.8, because it's the same as timeless. I was able to put the timeless head onto this handle and vice versa. And so I believe it's an M5 threading for those of you detailed folks that want to know that. But it's the same as a timeless, whichever one that is. I'm pretty sure that's the metric. The 1032 is the standard threading that we've some of the old Gillettes, would have. I think Rockwell does that as well. There's a few other people. Most people do the M5, the metric, which is nice because the head, if you have a head, that's the metric M5, and this is a page that I'm soon to create on my website, sugardaddyShaves.com. I'm going to list all the different threading that I've been able to research. And the top cap here, if you've got the M5 type top cap, there's a very, very slight difference between the 1032 standard and the M5 metric in terms of pitch and size and that kind of thing. And so it's such a small difference that if you have a standard, the 1032 head here with this bolt, that's slightly smaller than the metric. And so then if you have a metric handle, the 1032 will often fit. It won't be an exact fit, but it will often fit inside the handle there. And so that's why a lot of aftermarket handle makers will make it the metric M5. But if you have a head that's the metric M5, which is slightly bigger than the standard, then if you have a standard handle, you may experience some problems where they won't fit together. And so that's why I made sure to test. When I tested it with a timeless, I tested each head on each one because like I said, it's kind of a one-way deal. If the handle is M5 and the head will fit either one, that kind of thing. All right, well, I got a good rinse The shave feels good. My skin after the shave feels nice. I don't feel any irritation, anything like that. Let's check the closeness results here. Hey, that's pretty good. Just a few spots where maybe the hairs have a touch of length on them, but maybe I didn't even do my usual type of touch-up pass or something like that. But I'm really happy with this. So this is the blade was very nice. This may be a razor where this Voshkod blade has performed better for me than a lot of the other razors I've put it in. It's not a blade that I've gravitated toward. It is a blade that has definitely done poorly for me in certain razors. And so I haven't used it a lot. Matter of fact, the number of dots on this 7 is probably the total number of shaves I've done with a Voshkod. Now, there are definitely some folks like Mark at Friendship Shaving over in the UK that likes the Voshkod a lot, and I know some other people do too. And so it is a case of blades being very subjective. It's the most subjective thing in wet shaving. And so just because the Voshkod may not do well with me in some razors doesn't mean it's not going to do well for you. And so if it's a budget buy for you, I definitely encourage you to get a small amount of them and try them out, because it may just be a really good razor for you, and it may vary per razor. And so if you get some in, you try it in one razor and it doesn't work for you, if you've got other razors, make sure to give it a try in a few other ones, because it may be just right for certain razors. All right, well, that panty dropper scent is not strong, but this is the kind of scent where I don't want it to be strong. I am enjoying it at this level. It'll be nice to go to sleep, and it's a nice smooth scent to go to sleep too. This is strength, it's not obnoxious. So good shave today. I'm glad I gave Van Yulay a try so that I can definitely speak to its performance and the quality there. It's a good performing soap. I definitely would not have a problem using it on a regular basis if that was the only soap that was available. I would not hesitate at all, and I'd have good shaves and enjoyable shaves. I would definitely. The only problem, like I said, comes in is with the value there. How many shaves are you getting for the amount of product that you're using? All right there. Hey, and here's a shout out to Buzz. He is online there, and he mentioned that he was shocked by my quick shave just a few times ago, where I face lathered really quick and the shave was over in about 8 minutes. He said he often enjoys my shaves with a drink and a snack, and he didn't even get to his snack. But I told him, don't worry, normal shaves are coming. So here's to you, man. I hope you have a good day. All right, you guys, I hope that there's been something good in this video to help you out. I'm also glad, and I might use Van Yulay again. Maybe I'll pick one of the other samples I have. I'll definitely put some more videos out there for them, because I do want to give them a good representation, because it is a good quality lather. Put some good things out there. So we have some good coverage, and for people doing research, maybe they'll find these videos and maybe it'll help them make good decisions. All right, guys, take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Have a good night.